Yep, that's the opening for Kannagi. So if you hear that skip, that means I screwed up somewhere. We begin with the kid, Jin, the protagonist of our story. A really mundane kid with strange attraction for the supernatural. He's a really artsy guy, really dedicated to his art. So one day he carves a wood statue for a project of a nature deity who breaks open into a girl, Nagi. Now, claiming to be a god, Nagi drags Jin into the ridiculous hijinks of her life, and most of which require Jin's strange attraction to the supernatural. So Nagi uses this to her advantage so she can squish the bugs. Oh, sorry, I mean cleanse the impurities. Now that there would sound like a really good quick synopsis of the story, but that's not what the series is really about. I mean, it is about all that, but there's a lot more smaller things with a much wider appeal than the story itself. And I'm talking about the characters. Now, like I said, the real perk of this series is the characters. Nagi is a really beautiful and spontaneous girl, very well played out by her voice actress, and she's actually the woman singing the opening right now. And it's a really catchy song at that. Briefly into the series, we're introduced to the rest of the cast, most of which come from Jin's art club. Now, most notable of them, worthy of mention, would be Akiba, a really paranoid, overly conscious otaku who thinks that the whole world is against him. Now, this kid's constantly trying to dispel or correct stereotypes or presumptions on the otaku culture. It makes this guy constantly go on rants just to prove his point, and that's what we love about him. Placing a character like Akiba into a story like this is a really good idea. Now, next up, we have Kimura. She has glasses. Nah, just kidding. She does, actually. But we still love her. She's hilarious. And she's actually my favorite character. She views Jin as a boy with a pure soul, and is only left for the reality of the world to stain his spirit. Now, Kimura, observing moments like those, gets turned on. Yeah, you see what I mean? She's weird, but we love her. On top of that, she's discreetly trying to be an otaku, so she'll nab at like every opportunity to learn from Akiba's style of speech to better enlighten herself to a more otaku lifestyle. Of course, she's being discreet about all this at the same time, so she's, you know, kind of beating around the bush. A really totally pathetic but humorous display of actions from Kimura. The chemistry between Kimura and Akiba is great. They're not in any kind of like serious relationship, but just seeing the two mingle is really, really fun. Now, more characters. We have Tsugumi, Jin's childhood friend. She's a really responsible and modest young lady, put in the position of looking after Jin by Jin's father after they moved away. Now, we don't really know why they moved away or where. We only know that Jin's living alone. And that's what's important. He's living alone. You see, living alone opens up so many doors, so many opportunities for a young boy to, you know, do things like explore the female anatomy through DVD and magazine mediums. Only for education, of course. After that, we have Zange, Kannagi's twin sister, a rival, and actually she's a pretty big role in this series. Now, according to me, the major difference between these two sisters is that is okay. If we see here, we have sorry, what was I talking about? So definitely quite a unique cast right there. A good break from the typical archetypes you would normally find in anime. It gives the series really, really fresh feel, if you know what I mean. It's tasting fresh. Now, the main reasons to watch this show is for the animation. Some of the best animation I've ever seen before. Just watching the opening, you'll realize how amazing it is. Their actions look so fluid. Everything about it helps create a sense of realism, making the characters in the world that much more believable. Almost that part with Anastasia. No, not really, no. In the genre, it says that this would be considered like a supernatural kind of show, but it isn't really. It's like I said in the beginning, it's It's a good, down-to-earth slice of life show with really likable and believable characters. Of course, as expected, there's a little bit of a toned-down, blossoming, low-key romance between the two protagonists, and the moments for the development of this between the two are really, really nice. Incredibly well scripted, or in my case, subbed. Yes. There's an ongoing theme of a popularity contest between the two sisters, Kannagi and Zange, to recruit believers, because the two are gods. They need followers, which the opening is suggesting if you watch the opening, because it depicts the two as pop stars, movie stars, then fashion models, all associated with this popularity thing going on. Now, just watching the show, you really feel the bond between all these characters and the diversity of personalities in Jin's friend group, and I think that's the most important thing for any anime, is having a really complicated relationship map between everyone. It makes it that much more intriguing for the audience. And if you think about it, that's how it is in real life too. You know, you don't speak to your girlfriend the same way that you speak to your homeboys. You know what I mean? You don't go up to her and be like, "Hey, bitch, what's the word, fool?" Yeah. Yeah, that was bad. I know. Like I said, Kannagi's not about much. Stuff just happens, you know? If you think I've spoiled something for you, you're wrong. You are so wrong. There's nothing to spoil. Though the series does get a bit climatic near the ending, it never strays off like the style or mood of the show that's been establishing for the past 10 episodes, so that's good. You'll know it doesn't end up like a show like Shuffle. This was actually the only fall anime series that I followed all the way through. Fall, like September 09-ish. I ended up dropping everything else, like Toradora. I don't know. It was consistent, right? The animation's consistent, and it's really funny. It's really, really funny. It's my type of humor. It's good for a laugh. If you like a series that's not trying to tell you something groundbreaking or unbelievable,